My name is Taryn Catherall, and this is my social psychology media project. Social psychology gives us a better understanding of how people act, think, and feel. Today, I am going to give you my personal insight into 3 social psychology theories I've learned by illustrating my real-life experiences, so let's jump right into it. The first theory that I relate to on a personal level is social learning theory, and Albert Bandura proposed that new behaviors can be obtained by watching and mimicking others. Social learning theory not only demonstrates how attitudes and values are constructed, it also helps to explain aggressive behavior, which was shown in Bandura's Bobo doll experiment. In this experiment, children observed models acting either destructively or passively towards the Bobo doll, and whichever action they observed was how they acted towards the doll. Because the children observed adult models acting aggressively towards the Bobo doll, they believed it was okay for them to act violent too. This experiment shows that children learn by observing and imitating others. I used this type of learning a lot while I was growing up because as a child I was diagnosed with Asperger's, which is a mild form of autism, and I had a lot of trouble socializing properly. So not only did I go to socialization groups, I also learned by imitating others around me. In fact, I still do it to this day. For example, I have trouble making eye contact with people. I make eye contact with people, but it doesn't feel natural to me, and I overthink it. While someone is talking to me one-on-one, I think, have I been staring at them in the eyes too long? Should I divert my eyes so I don't seem creepy? For example, I was at dinner with my friend and his mom and I were talking one-on-one. I observed how she diverted her eyes occasionally so she wasn't staring at me, and so I mimicked her eye movements. So in order to maintain eye contact that is socially acceptable, I observe the eye movements of the person I am talking to, and I mimic their behavior. Social learning was not the only theory developed about the learning process. Operant conditioning is another learning theory that was proposed by B.F. Skinner. Operant conditioning is a type of learning in which good behaviors are rewarded through positive reinforcement so the individual is likely to repeat the good behavior again, and bad behaviors are punished through negative reinforcement so the individual is less likely to repeat the behavior again. Parents, teachers, and adults use operant conditioning by praising children for what they consider to be socially acceptable attitudes, which in turn increases the likelihood of them repeating that behavior again. For example, my parents would use positive reinforcements in order to get me to make eye contact with them. My parents would say my name while holding a treat or toy, and if I looked at them in the eyes, they would give me the treat as positive reinforcement. It took lots of patience, but I learned to maintain eye contact through positive reinforcement. I also learned to turn in my homework and not speak out of turn through negative reinforcements. My teachers in elementary school knew I had Asperger's and that I had trouble with certain things, so they would punish me by making me walk laps at recess if I spoke out of turn in class or turned in my homework late. By punishing me, the frequency of these behaviors decreased, and I no longer spoke out of turn in class or forgot to turn in my homework. So as you can tell, operant conditioning really helped me to learn socially acceptable behavior through rewards and punishment. And the last theory I relate to is social allergy effect, and this is when a person becomes hypersensitive to their partner's irritating and obnoxious habits, and as time goes on, they become increasingly annoyed. According to the textbook, repeated exposure to your partner's annoying tendencies can make things worse in a relationship and can cause things to end. However, in most cases, people seem to grow to like people, places, and things that are familiar to them. I definitely went through this with my ex-boyfriend. His annoying habits became more and more annoying over time, and they became so obnoxious that it seemed like the negative aspects of our relationship outweighed the positive. A super annoying habit of his was when we went to the stores, he would grab the remote control wheelchairs and would run me over and purposely back up for no reason, because the chairs made obnoxiously loud beeping noises. Another annoying habit he had was constantly asking me if he was a good person. He asked me this every day, and the constant questions of reassurance got obnoxious. Another annoying thing he did was snore. And I could not stand the snoring. It would make me so mad because I couldn't sleep. And last but not least, he would read my messages and go through my photos as well. He would throw a fit and say if I didn't cut certain people out of my life, he was going to leave me. His possessiveness and jealousy was taken too far. All of these annoying habits that he had, and lots more that I didn't mention, and the fact that he was verbally and physically abusive brought me to the boiling point. I had to terminate the relationship for my happiness and for my sanity. My negative emotional reaction was quite strong because my ex-boyfriend performed these allergenic behaviors every day. This is why, even though I was familiar with him, I could not stay with him. Social psychology has taught me more about my relationships, behaviors, and communication. I find that I am starting to understand myself and others a lot better.